here. All right, so thanks everybody for coming out this morning. I know it's not always everybody's favorite thing to do to get up early, but we have breakfast, so hopefully bacon made up for that. Sorry.
Start with that next time.
Yeah.
Bacon and some intrapreneurial stuff.
And you do know that bacon is the only flavor that will make even a lifelong vegetarian salivate. Yeah. So it's a very powerful weapon.
Good science to know. So this morning, before I introduce the panel, so this morning we're here and we want to talk about entrepreneurism isn't always an easy thing for companies to undertake. There's a lot of companies out there who say that innovation is very important to what they do, but it doesn't always necessarily come out fully reflected in how you see them operate. And then we have people like the entrepreneurs that we like to talk about through the Alliance here, who are people who want to create change within their company. And although all their intentions are very good, it's sometimes hard because they're met with organizational sort of barriers in their way, be it how companies have previously operated or changing and evolving is not always easy to do. So I have a very formal description here that I'll just read out so that it's easier. So many organizations recognize that innovation is important as it helps them secure a future for themselves, and also is an attraction to top talent and entrepreneurial-minded people, hopefully like you guys. Similarly, entrepreneurs are attracted to the opportunities to lead major strategic and tactical transformations that render meaningful benefits internally and externally for companies. So if this is the case, why are we so often why does there wind up being friction between the people that say they want innovation and those who actually try and bring it? A key cause of this comes down to communication styles and interpretation from each party. So today we have assembled a fantastic panel here who are all experts in helping organizations get through these periods of change. So I will give a quick introduction to everybody here. They're all really, we all got together yesterday to talk for about an hour about what we're going to do. They're all very, very well subject matters and matter experts, and I am going to try and just ask them questions that will bring that out because I definitely can't keep up with them myself. And so we'll get them to speak to you a little bit about how they see change in organization works. We're hopefully going to give you guys some takeaways that you can actually start using in your companies either tomorrow or Monday. And then we're going to open up the floor and let you guys ask some questions yourself. So, not sitting in the order I have their names listed here, but I'll go down the panel this way. Directly to my right is Dominique, who is the president of Cohaesio Solutions, with over 20 years of experience helping organizations go through transformations. Beside her, we have Stuart. Stuart is the principal at Authengade. Did I say that right? Authengade? Authengade. Sorry. Where he helps design and activate customer and employee experiences. So those generally involve making some sort of change as well, and he helps to facilitate those. To his right is Nicole. Nicole is the product owner for RBC's HR Accelerator, so she has actually been going through the process of change herself and helping RBC to facilitate this. And way down at the end, last but not least, is Sean. And Sean is a clinical psychologist, organizational behavioral strategist, and also the co-founder of Cohaesio as well.
You can all run now.
Sean's taking notes.
So I think I'm going to kick it off with a pretty easy question that I think everybody wants to know is why does every company want to boast that they're innovating or that they have a innovative culture these days? What's the the purpose of them saying that out loud to everybody?
Sure, I'll ruin
You
me.
go first.
I'm actually going to even challenge the question and kind of go, I think that's actually a question that the sort of leadership has to ask ourselves is, why do we want to be innovative? And I think that's actually even a question that a lot of organizations haven't answered. They just are jumping on the innovation bandwagon because that's what we do, and everyone's doing it, and I've got to be a groundbreaker, and I've got to be innovative, and without actually stepping back and kind of understanding, well, what is actually the purpose of your organization, what's the impact that you're trying to provide, and for whom, and if innovation is a great channel to deliver that, then great, but maybe actually innovation isn't actually good. Maybe you just need to double down on good customer service that you got, and provide a more digital, faster channel, or whatever the case may be. And so I can answer that question, or I'm sure my colleagues can answer that question of what we think organizations mean by innovation, but I actually flip it back on the client and go, why are you after innovation? Because innovation is a tool. It's not an end state. You're not, oh, I'm innovative. You are innovative in order to achieve something. What are you trying to achieve? And is innovation the best way to do it versus operational efficiency of your existing model? But that didn't really answer your question. I will now segue into somebody who might want to answer the question more directly.
Well, I think the other thing is culturally, particularly in the West, it's become, if you're not innovative, you're behind. So we have a very strong value judgment now associated with innovation, which is, it is by default, value is good. And if you're not, you're bad. You're behind. Mm-hmm. Which I think in and of itself is dangerous, because innovation is neither good nor bad. It's change, it's transformation. You cannot assume that anything change has a value to it, to your outcomes are. So coming to Stuart's point, it's the goals. But I do think it's raised a level of pressure and expectation from a psychological and organizational perspective, particularly for those who feel, God forbid, they're perceived as resistors. When in fact the resistance can be a source of value, is change readiness. So we really need to step back from immediately applying a judgment statement. You're proposing change, neither good nor bad. What's the output? What does it try to do, coming to Stuart's point? But I do think we need to step away from assuming that by default it's culturally of value. And that's what we tend to do, particularly in the West. Don't see that so much in other cultures, but we do that particularly in the West.
Maybe I'll throw it over to Nicole for a second. Coming from a traditional institute that's been around for, I don't know, at least 100 years or so, and has 80,000 employees, so making changes isn't maybe necessarily always the easiest thing. Why do you think RBC sees value in wanting to promote this culture of innovation and trying to actually change their internal culture, the way they do things?
Yeah, I think one of the keys to our success is that we've always done that. I think what's different is the need now to be visible, the need now to put a label on it. And that happening at the same time where the external marketplace is coming up with new and amazing models. So suddenly design thinking, agile. We've got all these new methodologies where we may have been implementing parts of those, but that's such an external push. And frankly, it's something shareholders are looking for. So are you an innovative company? Are you going to keep up with the disruptors? But I'll be frank, a big part of our brand is just doing the right thing for the customer. And from a client perspective, they need that innovation. They want to see their products changing and keeping pace and meeting them where they are in the journey. So I think to remain relevant, it's a need. But I think again, and for our organization, it's been part of our DNA. It's just accelerating. So it's happening way faster, and it's got new labels attached to it and new methodologies. And I would say, the methodologies, when you look at the size of our organization and the lines of business and the segments and a lot of the silo structure, it really does, you've got great innovation happening from the silos. What we're now seeing is innovation across silos. And so again, from a culture perspective, that's a big difference in terms of people giving up control and doing things for the right reasons and letting go of some of their choices. I think it's